We'll get Aaron Cease, Adam Conrad, and Eric Brown deep.
Conrad, he's a threat back there, and nothing start a game off nice. Should get a big return from him and get that field position game going early.
Schaefer will kick off for Caldwell, and I think we saw that last week because every time Adam Conrad went out on a pass pattern, he had a couple of River kids right in his hip pocket. It was real tough for him to get going. Schaefer's kick is short. It'll be taken by Cease at about the 25-yard line. He tries to give ground and get to the wall. Get the block. Back to the 25. A lot of running for about 10 yards to the 32-yard line.
Same thing happened last week. The ball was kicked to Aaron Cease. The Seminoles had a return left on. It's just a bad break when you pick return left and there's a kick up the right side like that. But good field position, 32-yard line.
I think anytime you can start from outside the 30-yard line, you're in pretty good shape. We'll check and see if there's any changes in personnel. We'll see Randall Seifert will be the center. Smithberger and Shoemaker the guards. Kenny and Frohnapple along with the ends Kilburn and Conrad. Michael George under center. Straight dive. Looks like Jones. He'll be near the 35-yard line along with T.J. Stevens and Eric Brown in the backfield, and we'll see Aaron Cease and Christopher Wilson also in that backfield.
Good to see Preston Kilburn back in the lineup. They shook up a little bit last week with the ankle, and Coach thought he would be all right, and I didn't really see him favoring it.
You just never know how long it'll take kids to bounce back from injuries, and you always hope to come through injury-free. Second down, give to Stevens. Again, they're going very tough. Nice effort by TJ. He gets across the 40-yard line, and he'll end up getting about, they'll give him 6 yards.
Nice job that time by Daniel Smithberger on that left side. Pushed the pile forward. Gained probably an extra 4 yards after Smithberger hit the pile. A lot of times you see guys just sort of standing around at the end of a play. Smithberger, nice job pushing the pile.
In the middle of that Caldwell defensive front, you'll see number 76, Alex Demmerling. He comes in at 6'2" and 300 pounds. Caldwell with a lot of experience on the offensive and defensive line. Third down short. Stevens, second effort. I believe he has the first down.
Very depend on the spot, and I believe they did get it. Big key there, Jeff. Come out, get something established. Coach always likes to get the running game established. 3 plays and a first down, get the ball out of our end of the field.
I think the improvement was obvious last week of the offensive line, as they really did a nice job, particularly in that opening possession of the third period. First down, George, first pass of the game. He'll go for Conrad, overthrown. Number 13, Grant Gatus was the defender.
You mentioned the offensive line. That's probably the area that has improved the most for the Seminoles. You look across there, Smithberger had some experience from last year at St. John's, but Seifert, Shoemaker, Frohnapple, Kenny, all first-year starters along that front line. You keep watching them as the season goes on. They get better and better. Real nice job last week, and a lot of time that time for Michael George.
And Preston Kilburn, as far as a run blocker, is doing a much better job than last year, and that's a year older. We'll get Jones in motion to the right. They'll toss to Brown. Tries to get outside, has some running room near midfield. He'll have about 7 yards. They'll put him down just short of midfield.
Run to the short side of the field that time, overloaded, sent the motion man that way, and just a power sweep basically with a quick running back.
Third down and 3. Big play here early in the game. Seminoles try to keep possession. They'll run the option. We have not seen that. They give it to Jones. First down. Tripped up by number 82. I believe that is Joey Richards. I believe that's the first time we've seen the option this year.
First time we've seen the pitch for sure. George doing a nice job that time at the pitch. The Caldwell defender had him by the jersey. It's always tougher to run the option to the left side, around the left end. It's going to take a left-handed pitch. Nice job of Michael.
I guess Michael keeps doing that. Granddad and Uncle Scott and Uncle Greg will have to stop kidding him about that slowness.
Oh, exactly. option quarterback.
A little confusion as Kilburn and Conrad switch sides of the field.
Overload for the Seminoles on the line. They've got 4 linemen to the right of the center, and they come to the short side.
Eric Brown will be hit very hard. Get a couple of yards. Richards, who is the Caldwell leading tackler, along with number 52, John Rainier. Give Brown a couple of yards.
A little different look that time. Monroe Central's run the overload several times. Normally they run the ball to that strength. So if that was a design play, Caldwell did a nice job of staying back on it.
Yeah, very active linebackers that Caldwell has here, but as you say, people think you're going to run to that strength. George slips as he tries to step up, get out in the flat for Stevens. He'll fall forward to the 39-yard line. A good effort. It'll be short of the first down.
Nice ball again by Michael George that time. A lot of zip on the ball. Nice job of avoiding the rusher. Nice job of the Seminole lineman pushing that pass rush to the outside.
He got a nice block there that allowed him to step up. And I know Coach Thursday night with you on the show talked about the need to get the passing game going. He was a little bit unhappy with the passing game last week against River. Power formation. Looks like some confusion. He'll lob it out and be intercepted. The free safety, number 80, is Adam Barnhart.
A bit of a mix-up in the backfield that time. George stepped out and ran into the motion back. Play took a little too long to develop. Conrad had a step on the defender at first, and the ball just sort of hung up a little too long.
Well, I think the receiver was open, and just not a lot of zip on that. He tried to lob it in there, and I don't think Michael ever saw the safety who came over and made the play. So the game's first turnover, and Monroe Central's first turnover since week 1. Number 19, Clark, is the quarterback. And they'll give to Schaefer. He'll be stacked at the line of scrimmage and brought down by Kilburn. Also Christopher Wilson.
I'll tell you what, you can see right at the start why Schaefer has picked up a lot of yards this year. He has awful quick feet. Nice job pressing Kilburn that time. Keeping contained, grabbing a jersey and bringing him down.
Well, last week against Barnesville, Schaefer had 36 carries. And for them to go with their plan of attack and for things to go Caldwell's way, I think you can look for him to be in that 30 to 35 carry range. They'll get motion to Gators. They'll give it to the fullback. That's Hill, who has just returned after an early season injury. He'll fall forward and get a couple of yards to the 30-yard line.
Lost his footing that time. A little bit of flick out there. Hill was out, I believe, with a bad leg. He came up with a little bit of a limp that time. He's going off. It's a tough thing to come back in, especially on a night like tonight where it's a little chilly. It's hard to get loose.
The injuries to their quarterback Davis and the other running back Dimmerling, they should be back in a couple of weeks. When Caldwell gets everybody back, they're going to be quite good. Clark will try his first pass. It's complete. And it's going to go for a big gain. A couple of missed tackles. This is Schaefer. Wilson will not get him. Touchdown Caldwell.
No flags on the flag. This is a simple little drag pass. Schaefer dragging across the middle, caught the pass, broke a tackle, and he showed some of that speed.
Once he gets into the running space and gets a lot of running room out there, you know he's going to be gone. So it's 6 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the first period. The game's first big play goes to Caldwell, and they're on the board leading 6-0. Try for placement, number 88, Dan Sidwell, a left-footed kicker. Snaps a little high, but down. The kick is up and will be wide. No, it would be good. Had a lot of hook on it. Looked like it may have been wide to the right, but the officials right there say good. So it's 6:08 remaining in period number 1. Caldwell scores first and leads 7-0.
Talk about the Caldwell ball team. You look all up and down the PVC. This probably is the best up and down the teams, probably the best that PVC's seen in quite a while. Caldwell with a real good ball team. Shenandoah is a good ball team this year. Fort Fry, everyone knows is loaded. Belleville, always tough. Frontier was picked to win several ball games this year as well, and Monroe Central always going to be there. So probably one of the best up and down the league best bunch of teams that we've seen in quite a while.
And Frontier's a little hard to figure because they beat Valley, one of the better teams year in, year out in West Virginia, and then lose by a big score last week to Waterford. So that's the next thing a little hard to figure. But as you say, Fort Fry and Shenandoah both unbeaten through the first 3 weeks of the season. And Caldwell probably has the most experience back of anybody last year. So their linemen are all in their third year as starters. They've taken some real lumps the last couple of years, and they really felt like this was going to be a good year. And they dropped a close game to Shadyside and a close game to Barnesville. I'm sure they feel like they're within just a couple bounces of the ball of being at least 2-1, if not 3-0. So Schaefer will now kick off. He has caught his breath after that long run. Kick again, very high and short, and Cease trying to catch it, and it will drop it out of bounds. And if you had that one to do over again, you'd like to let that one hit and go out of bounds, because then at least you get the ball at the 35-yard line.
Exactly. That ball clearly was going to go out of bounds, as Aaron was right on the line almost when he caught it, or the ball hit him. So I'm sure Coach will explain to him what he needs to do next time, because it looks like Caldwell's going to try to kick it that way every time.
And you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen there as Cease come off the field, Coach Sacosta and Coach Withrow both talking to him. And I'll be honest with you, Lance, you don't like the way you see in the opening 6 minutes of this game. A lot of mental mistakes by Monroe Central. T.J. Stevens on first down has a nice game. I think the feeling is from the Seminoles that that they can move the ball and get some yardage against this Caldwell team. It's just a matter of can we stop them.
That's it exactly. The big gun, Schaefer for Caldwell, held him on a running play, and then he breaks loose on a pass play. So he's definitely a double threat.
I know I felt last week against River that as long as we were only up one touchdown, that the game was really in question, because Black from River had that potential to go into the end zone from anywhere on the field. 2nd down and 4. Toss Conrad in the backfield, trying to pick his hole and now get upfield and get that first down. Adam Conrad.
We made mention last week, Monroe Central was making use of several different running backs. I believe 6 ball players carried the ball in the first half last week, not including Jors.
Well, we're up to 4 ball carriers already, and we've only played about 6.5 minutes of this game. So it is the first down, the 3rd first down of the night for Monroe Central. Brown spins the outside and unable to keep his feet. Number 13, Gatus, gets him at the ankles and brings him down. Matter of fact, Brown may have lost part of a yard. They'll put him back right about the line of scrimmage, making it 2nd and 10.
A little bit of room around the corner there. Eric's been able to keep his feet that time. There was some pursuit coming, but he'd have picked up 6 or 7 had he been able to keep his feet.
2nd and 10, we have a slot formation to the right. Conrad is the wide receiver. Joris looks that way to throw. Zips it right incomplete. Conrad near the 40-yard line. He'll still be short of the first down by about 3 yards. Barnhart again making a defensive play for Caldwell. They'll put him right at the 40-yard line. Pick up 7, make it 3rd and 3.
Defender on Conrad that time, giving him a lot of respect over there. He had probably a 8 to 9 yard cushion on him. So look for Monroe Central to come back to that play as the night goes on if they keep giving him such a big cushion.
And if they can get that short gain a lot of times, then the old sideline and go, or pump fake that and then send him deep. 3rd down and 3. Movement but no flag. Jones turns it upfield. Now, nice job by Adam Jones. Turned it upfield quickly and ran with some real purpose to get that first down.
Key play right there with Daniel Smithberger pulling around. Stepped up, Schaefer stepped in, and Smithberger kicked him out from that pulling guard position, enabled him to turn upfield and get the first down.
But you like the idea of your running back really turning it upfield quickly, knowing he needs 3 yards for the first down. Don't string it out and hope you can get 10 or 15 yards. Just get that first down and keep the ball. Joris on first down, wants to throw. Has time, now he wants to run. He has running room, and now all of a sudden the running room is gone. Number 71 is Ivan Ramage, and that hole closed off rather quickly.
Good defense that time in the secondary for Caldwell. There was nobody open. Michael doing a nice job stepping up into the pocket. He talked about the show the other evening. Coach also made mention that Michael isn't likely going to outrun someone trying to take off around the end. Get the ball upfield. Nice job that time of avoiding a big loss.
Right, he may have actually gained half a yard. Jones, no go, and he'll keep his feet and get back near the line of scrimmage, and that was a 5-yard loss that turned into no gain. That's quite a play.
Nice job of keeping us balanced that time. He actually put the ball on the ground to push himself back up. Again, another 5-yard loss avoided, but puts the Seminoles in a 3rd and 10 here.
The 3rd and 10 is better than 3rd and 15.
You talked about possibly running the out and up. Seems like everything that you see the Seminoles do, they have something that'll counter off of that. So look for, like you said, maybe the out and up sometime. Or
Joris wants to throw. Screen to Stevens. Sidesteps one. And be pulled down from behind after a short gain. Number 52 is John Rainier. And he'll make the play. And it'll be 4th down, and we'll have our first punt of the night.
That's a heck of a job by Rainier that time, running Stevens down. Looked like he was going to go for an easy first down, and the linebacker able to get himself out there and make the big play to stop the first down.
Joris with 3 completions in the early going, but only a total of 16 yards. Gordon in punt formation. And it's a nice kick near the 20-yard line. Gate off, and he'll be dropped by Tyler Shoemaker. A 30-yard punt, no return. So Caldwell's second possession will start at their own 20-yard line. Last time Caldwell, no gain or very little gain on the 1st and 2nd down, but then 3rd down, just a short pass going for a 70-yard touchdown play. 1:12 remaining in period number 1. They will send 2 receivers wide to the right, and only 1 Seminole defensive back. Now Adam Jones steps out there as a second defender. Straight up the middle, that's Schaefer, and he has lots of running room. First down.
I believe that was Hill that time.
It was Hill, number 36.
A little hard to pick those numbers up on the back of the jersey. Twilight makes it a little hard as well.
But nevertheless, a 12-yard pickup. This Caldwell team has come to play. That is Schaefer. And he has about 3 yards. Seifert on the play along with Preston Kilburn and Jeremy Kenny.
Caldwell all season has had the ability to score. They've been scoring the points. The Seminoles hope to contain that, but they need to make sure they do a good job of getting, holding Caldwell down.
Caldwell scoring, I believe, about 23, 24 points a game, giving up 25, so this one could be a shootout. Toss, Schaefer, Kilburn, and others will swarm Brian Schaefer under after a short pickup at the 36-yard line. Only about a yard, and the first period has expired. At the end of 1 period of play, Caldwell 7, Monroe Central nothing. Caldwell in possession of the ball, 3rd and 6 at their own 36-yard line. Last time we was in a 3rd and long situation, Caldwell turned the big play. Their sophomore quarterback is number 19, Rob Clark. Long count. He'll give straight ahead. Hill.
Seminoles are going to get a favorable spot this time. It's going to keep them from getting the first down by about a half a yard.
I believe they're going to take a look at it, but from our vantage point, Lance, it looks like it's well short. So we'll hold on before we make that official call, but yeah, they needed 6 and I believe got about 5.
I was 1 for 2 last week. I'm going to say he missed this by probably a foot and a half.
You're not too far off.
Interesting to see if Caldwell decides to go for it here early in the ball game. 1-2 record, you never know, but it looks like they're going to go.
In their own territory, this could be a big play. This is one of those where Coach Corey Perkins of the Caldwell Redskins, if you make the right call here and get the first down, it looks good. But if you don't make this first down and give Monroe Central the ball at the 40-yard line, then you're going to be second guessed for a long time. So they'll line up and they will go for it. And a good decision it was for Caldwell. I mean, you've got a veteran line and 2 good running backs. I'm not sure that it was that much of a gamble.
Yeah, right behind big Alex Stimmerling that time. 6'2", 300 pounds. A lot of beef there. Easy pickup. Monroe Central didn't line anyone up right over Dimmerling, and that's right where the ball went that time. So really a fairly easy job of picking up the first down.
Kind of odd here that Hill has more carries than Schaefer here in the first part of this game. 1st and 10, Caldwell whistle, and we'll have our first flag.
Saw Adam Jones on the upper part of the screen that time pointing. Not sure, I didn't see the movement, but we'll take a look and see what the official sees.
And encroachment call against Monroe Central.
They obviously had to catch him with his hand in the neutral zone. No part of the body can go in the neutral zone. Adam thought he saw something and was pointing at it, and the official threw the flag.
So that puts Caldwell into an awfully good situation for their offense now at 1st and 5. They'll send a wide receiver, Sidwell, to the left, Gatus, the flanker, to the right. They'll give to Hill. He'll be hit at the line of scrimmage. Smithberger and Stevens give Hill a yard.
He's had 5 carries already for Hill, 23 yards. Monroe Central obviously going to come in looking at trying to stop Schaefer, so good game playing by Caldwell. Get the ball in the other guy's hands, a few times, see what happens.
This is Schaefer. He'll go wide right, have running room, and have a first down. I don't have my stats from some of the preseason publications there, but I'm not too sure if Hill was not their leading returning ball carrier from a year ago. And not Schaefer. Kind of a surprise maybe to some people that Schaefer has gotten off to such a good start. But that's a 5-yard pickup and a first down. Schaefer again. He'll be stacked up by a lot of black jerseys.
Going to pick up about 2 yards, but look for Caldwell to just keep the ball on the ground. They've got a sophomore quarterback in there, a lot of, not much experience. They're doing just what they need to do. Get him in there, get him comfortable. He's got a quarter under his belt now, and the longer Caldwell can keep the ground moving on, or the ball moving on the ground, more comfortable this young quarterback's going to get in there.
Number 55, Nate Schauber, has checked in the game for Monroe Central. Schaefer will try the left side. Cut back. Get some yardage. Conrad comes up and makes the play. But he'll get about 5 yards. Maybe closer to 6 yards. 3rd and 2. especially with Caldwell in the lead. As you just said, they're going to be very content to keep it on the ground. And, they've gained some yardage, 3 first downs on this drive. Possession has started on about their own 20-yard line. That is Hill. He's hit head-on in the backfield by Schauber.
Schauber getting a little more playing time here the last week or two, and he's been doing a nice job in there. Saw him have a big play last week. He knocked the ball away from the River quarterback. They were able to recover, but
Caldwell's going to call a timeout. They want to get the right play in, but there's no question they'll go for it. They went for it on their own 42, so on the Monroe Central 36, I'm quite sure they're going for it.
Just a position on the field, though, Jeff. 36-yard line. You can send your punter back here, let him really give the thing a good boot, pin Monroe Central back, but I think you're right. They're going to probably line up and go for this.
A big stop here. If you can make the play defensively and take over in a 7-0 game, you feel like you're in pretty good shape. But if Caldwell's able to maintain the possession here, take another 3 or 4 minutes off the clock and go down and get a 14-0 lead, the Seminoles are really going to be in a tough spot, and have their backs against the wall.
Right, because, you want to get that running game established. If we can hold them at 7-0 here, we can maintain our game plan, keep the ball on the ground, and keep trying to set up the play-action pass. But you get down 14-0, they're controlling the ball the way they are. You'll need to look at putting the ball up.
4th and 2. 2 wide receivers. Gatus flanker right, Sidwell split left. They'll toss Schaefer. He slipped down and not make it.
There's where the field comes into play, Jeff. Lost his footing. He would have had the first down with the cutback, but big play for Monroe Central right there. They're going to take the ball over.
And I think he saw a hole and was cutting back for that hole, but the feet just went out from under him. So Monroe Central will get a break and take over now on their own 36-yard line, trailing 7-0.
Coach Perkins showing a lot of confidence in his defense by not punting the ball twice that past series. He went for it on 4th down. So, Monroe Central needs to, it's like a turnover. They need to make them pay here.
Chores out of the shotgun. Jones, short gain. Sidwell comes up and makes the play.
That's a nice job by Sidwell. The Caldwell defenders on the lower part of your screen that time didn't give much ground. What I'm seeing here is Monroe Central might be able to get something deep here because they're not sending anybody very deep in that secondary.
4 completed passes by Monroe Central, but all for short yardage. The biggest gain has been 7 yards. 4 of 6 for 20 yards for Michael Jorth. Jones running room. First down across midfield, out of bounds. Gados and Barnhart drive him out of bounds, but a pickup of better than 15 yards.
Nice job that time by the line again. Nice job with the kick-out block by the running back. Monroe Central picking up big yards, and they're in Caldwell territory already.
Let's give Adam Jones 18 yards on that carry. But a nice mix of the pass and run here early. Just, no points to show yet. Power eye. Jones again. Again, running very hard. Another 5 yards for Adam Jones. And Adam really is turning it upfield and running maybe as hard as what I've seen him run any time this year.
Well, nice thing that I'm noticing up here is Adam. He had some leg problems last year, and early this season he was limping around a little bit, but he seems to be moving real well right now. I hate, you don't want to jinx a guy, but when he's healthy, he's tough to bring down.
And you have to keep in mind, this is the first year that Adam Jones has been a main ball carrier, and it takes a while just to, to learn how to hit the hole in there, even though he has had a few carries in the past, but not very many. He'll get another one here, and a little bit shorter yardage this time. Schaefer, Hill, also number 52 is Rayner, but that's only about a yard.
Looking at 3rd and 3, big play here for the Seminoles.
slot to the left. Conrad will be the split end with Brown in the slot. 3rd and 3. Joris wants to throw. Going for Conrad, incomplete. Nice defensive play over there by, can't see the number. That may be Gadoff, number 13. Very near a completion for a big game, but very near an interception and 6 the other way.
Well, that's exactly right. Both of these teams like that pass. You know, the quick out, it's a 5-step out. You try to set up the out and up on it. But Caldwell's used to seeing that over the years, and they're going to come up and challenge it.
And Coach Circosta will not gamble as Gordon will come and punt it away. Nobody deep. He goes to the sideline but doesn't quite get it. This is not going to be as good a punt as they'd hoped for. They're going to bring it back to the 15, still walking to the 17 or 18 yard line. So only about a 20-yard punt.
Caldwell so far has done a nice job moving the ball. They've got their backs against the wall here a little bit. Monroe Central needs to get a stop this time. The couple runs that time by Jones got us the field position back, so need to come up the stop or come up the turnover here.
Coach Acosta choosing to play that field position game here down 7-0. If it had been 14-0, I'm sure you would have seen a different decision. First back is Hill. He'll get about 3 yards, just across the 20, near the 21-yard line. Just one wide receiver this time for Caldwell. Clark wants to throw. It's complete for a short gain. Brown makes a tackle on Gatus. He'll get 5 yards, maybe closer to 6. 3rd down and a couple. Now again, just a short pass. You know, again, not going downfield. You know, only the second time they've looked to throw the ball, and both have been completed. They'll go back to the ground.
There's a big job on that other side. Tyler Shoemaker that time. He was held up by, looked like Jones held him up, and then Tyler Shoemaker cleaned up.
I believe that was Hill, the ball carrier. He got very little yardage, maybe a yard. And we'll see the first Caldwell punt of the night. So we'll see how this exchange of field position now on the punting game will work out. Conrad and Brown are deep. High snap over the head of the punter. Sidwell trying to chase it down. The ball's loose in the end zone. Touchdown, Monroe Central. No. It gets loose. It's kicked down. They're going to have a penalty flag. That's an illegal kick. And I don't think I want to try to sort this one out, Lance.
I'm not sure. That's a safety. Illegal kick. It is a safety.
It's a safety.
They'll penalize probably
They'll penalize on the kick. But I'll tell you what, that's a good play by whoever the Caldwell young man was to get that ball out of the end zone, because somebody from Monroe Central had a shot at it and just didn't make the play.
That was a situation where he clearly dove on the ball. He made the call and just could not control it. I didn't get to see the number of who dove on the ball that time, but he dove and the ball actually stayed and he slid right past it.
But I thought that it was covered and probably should have been covered, and that may have been Sidwell that come back and made that play and kicked it out of the end zone. Coach Circosta is trying to get an explanation from the officials, but as you said, free kick from the 20, so I'd say they should penalize them now from the 20.
I think the penalty will come from the 20-yard line.
Probably move them back to the 10.
Monroe Central's going to get real good field position here with the ball again. Referee, though, is standing at the 20-yard line as far as the kickoff, so it looks like they're going to...
You probably got to give, stat-wise, you probably got to call that a 26-yard loss then, don't you?
Yes, but I'm not sure if you call that in the running game or the passing game or special teams game.
We'll call that others.
others.
So we'll see how they mark this penalty off, or if they do. Where's Andy when you need him to explain these things? Haven't seen a lot of safeties the last few years.
No, you really haven't. Caldwell's got 10 players on the field. They're missing a kicker. Looks to me like they're going to put the ball on the ground and on a tee and do a regular kickoff.
But it leads us to the question, where's the penalty?
Exactly.
And maybe since you take the safety, that offsets that penalty. I don't know.
Seminoles this time have switched Aaron Cease and Adam Conrad. Cease is taking the middle to see if Schaefer continues to kick it off to the side.
Schaefer's kick is a line drive.
Eric Brown
at his own 35 gets to midfield. And Monroe Central, good field position at the Caldwell 47-yard line.
Yeah, we talked about turnovers being the key here. Monroe Central's turnover ended up being a 70-yard pass play for Caldwell's score. The snap over the punter's head, not actually a turnover, but did result in 2 Monroe Central points. So, turnovers are the key here. Monroe Central needs to avoid it, put a little drive together here in this last 3:45.
And Monroe Central not getting that touchdown may come out, it'd be a key play. Stevens is tripped up in the backfield by Rayner, who just pushed the offensive line back, and TJ Stevens is a little bit stunned, and he'll have to come out of the game. But that's going to be a loss of about 2 yards.
That's very nearly a trip right there. Defensive player for Caldwell almost did a leg whip around to make the tackle on TJ in the backfield.
Second down now and 12. Ball at midfield. Joris wants to throw. He's going deep. There's Conrad. He dropped the ball. Oh my, right in his hands, not able to make the play.
Had a step on the receiver. He had to slow down a little bit and decide, he took off running before he caught the ball, actually.
And that could have easily been 6 points. Ball thrown right on the money. Everybody in the crowd, complaining about not catching the ball, but a lot of moisture on that ball, and it's a lot easier said than done.
It sure is.
As an old wide receiver, I'm sure you can.
That position,
you probably dropped a couple in your life.
Can be as dry as it wants to be, and you still have a drop once in a while.
There's a completed pass for Kilburn. He's fighting forward, but he's going to be short of the first down. Back at the 41-yard line, pickup of 9.
Coach Shoemaker, the special teams coach for the Seminoles, looked down here, and he was lobbying for the fake punt, but I don't think Coach Sikosta's going to go for it. A little too much time here. You hate to give Caldwell the ball this far up the field.
You're still trailing by only 7 to 2, only by 5 points. Gadoff will be deep. Line drive kick. Gadoff's at his own 12. Trying to get to the outside of the right. Caldwell has a wall set up. They get a couple of blocks. And a nice open field tackle over there by, I can't tell.
I believe that was Tyler Shoemaker again. TJ Stevens it was.
But again, Monroe Central choosing to play that field position. And again, the Seminole defense has done a great job except for that one long play early in the game. Now with 2:25 left, if you can stop Caldwell again, force him in a punting situation. We've always have seen one Caldwell punt go clear over the punter's head. That's Schaefer. He has nowhere to go.
It's a nice job by Preston Kilburn, your defensive end, stringing it out, keeping contained, waiting for Pursuit to get there. Nice job with Pursuit.
We'll get a Monroe Central timeout. Also, Randall Seifert on that play. Now, loss, and Caldwell, having trouble getting the ground game going. A loss of a couple of yards back to the 22-yard line. And Schaefer's been kept pretty well in check so far.
Well, Caldwell in a position here, 2nd and 11 from their own 22. they have to decide whether they want to put the ball up in the air. Something we really haven't talked about yet tonight, and that's Monroe Central in a pass rush. You have just a sophomore at quarterback, not a lot of experience. Monroe Central needs to get a little bit of pressure on him when he decides to go back and pass.
Unofficially, I have Caldwell's top gun, who averages over 200 yards a game rushing, Brian Schaefer, with 8 carries for 17 yards rushing. But the big play was that 70-yard pass reception and run, which went for the Caldwell touchdown. So back at the 22-yard line, Monroe Central using one of their timeouts with 2:12 left, and that Coach Sherman is thinking, make the stop here, force them to punt, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we saw in the last possession, Monroe Central can get behind those defenders. They're going to play up and look for that out. So need to get the ball back here.
Again, right up the middle. He'll get the couple yards back of the loss, plus another one or two. Call it 3rd and 8.
Monroe Central choosing not to use the timeout this time. Hopefully, Caldwell tries to pass, throws an incompletion, stops the clock, saves 2 timeouts for that final possession of the half.
Clark wants to throw. Has some pressure. Caught. And this is going to go for another big play. Joey Richards. And he's going to go the distance. Another big one. 75 yards.
That play, Jeff, basically the same play, had a different player for Caldwell coming out of the backfield. Just in the flat. Monroe Central doing not a very good job of making the tackle that time. Caldwell, I think all they really want to do is pick up the first down. Ends up picking up another big, long touchdown.
Caldwell will spend a timeout, and they may be debating whether to kick or go for 2 with the score 13-2. With an 11-point lead, decision to be made. They're bringing some people back on the field, so we'll see what that decision is. But 2 big pass plays from a defensive group that has played so well this year, and just a couple short, simple plays that a missed tackle and then good speed has just outrun Seminole defenders, and that's 2 big plays, but it doesn't matter how you get them. It's the same number of points on the board.
That's right. Nothing fancy, really. It wasn't anything set to fool anybody. Just bringing the receiver. He made a nice little catch right there. He caught the ball with one hand. That close to being an incompletion turns into 6 points.
As a matter of fact, there was some excellent pressure. I couldn't see who Monroe Central had there, but I believe the quarterback, Clark, took a shot as he threw the ball, but he was able to get it away. But, it's a game of inches. And the breaks have went Caldwell's way, and they will line up and go for 2. They have a single setback, Schaefer. Clark wants to throw. Out in the flat, complete, flag down.
It's an illegal pick that time by the wide receiver. Referee clearly saw it. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty on this play. Forced them to go for the extra point from the 18-yard line.
That is offensive pass interference. And that's a loss of down penalty, I believe, is it not? And if that's the case, then there would be no points, and we'll go kick off. That should be the case. We'll see what happens. But offensive pass interference is a loss of down penalty, so there'll be no second attempt.
You're exactly right. Extra point's no good. They kick off from the 40.
He says refuse that, and I'm not sure there unless he did not get into the end zone.
It wasn't. He wasn't refusing. He was signaling that
there's no point. So that is the case.
You did a nice job sorting that out, Jeff. You we're right on the money there. It is a loss of down, therefore there's only one try at the extra point.
I remember that from last week. You remember last week, when I took the week off?
Right.
A couple people did ask me where I was. That does show us a couple people do watch.
Well, I got a chance to watch the game. I'm not sure who the two fellas were that did the game last week, but they did a pretty nice job.
I thought they did. Except that one guy kept pointing out mistakes to you.
Exactly.
1:23 left in the first half. Caldwell has a 13-2 lead. Monroe Central with 2 timeouts. But the Coach Costa really cannot be happy with some different things, especially the 2 long pass and run plays that Caldwell has pulled off and has scores on. And after a couple weeks of saying, well, we got young guys, this and that, I got a feeling that those young guys are about to become veterans in this locker room.
Yeah, I have a feeling there'll be some raised voices.
Straight down the middle, Conrad at the 13-yard line. Straight up the middle, tries to leap over some people to the 32, 33-yard line, but not much of a hole there.
Very seldom will you see guys that have a lot of success. You'll see a lot of defensive guys have success making awful nice highlight hits when the guy tries to jump the pile. Caldwell doing a nice job of coverage, staying in their lanes, and there wasn't a lot there that time.
You get up in the air like that, you leave your body pretty exposed for that defensive player to come along and put a hit on you. Caldwell will loosen up a little bit and play some people back off the line of scrimmage as they anticipate passes. Joris wants to go downfield. Conrad. Incomplete is the call.
Blocked from our view that time. 2 officials there. The official on this side of the field didn't really see it, but he followed the lead of the back judge there and called the incompletion.
2nd down and 10. Those officials are, the referee is Bill Walter, Glenn Williams, Ken Merriman, John Rowan, and Frank Bland. We'll get a 5 wide receiver look. Joris in the shotgun alone. Has some pressure. Going deep for Brown or possibly Conrad, but neither able to get there. Incomplete.
It's a nicely thrown ball that time by Joris. Again, Caldwell, Monroe Central comes up, lines out 5 wide receivers, and actually Monroe Central had 2 guys behind the Caldwell defense on that. I have a feeling Caldwell, you see the coach yelling at free safety there, get back, nobody gets behind you.
3rd and 10. And even though it's a 3rd and 10 situation, for all practical purposes, it's 67 yards to go. 103. Same formation. Joris wants to throw. Going deep. Incomplete. Intended for Jones. Barnhart had it hit off his hands as he was trying for his 2nd interception of the night.
Monroe Central going to get called for a hold here. Flag's laying back to the 23-yard line. They're moving the flag up to about the 28. Interesting to see if Caldwell takes the penalty or they decline. So going to force the Seminoles to punt.
The fact that it is now 4th down coming up, they're going to decline the penalty, get the ball back in their hands, and then run out this clock. 58 seconds remaining at halftime, and be very, very happy from Caldwell's side of the field. I'm sure Coach Corey Perkins will be going in with a 13-2 halftime advantage.
Hopefully they'll be happy and run out the clock. That's a lot of time. They still have 2 timeouts remaining, so you just can't be sure.
Line drive kick will hit. He'll take it at the 30. Still on his feet. Gatus. And he's back near midfield. They'll put him down at the 47-yard line in Caldwell territory. 44 seconds left. And you could be exactly right, Lance. They may take a shot at something here. You've got a couple good running backs, and especially somebody with the speed that Schaefer has shown. Run him wide a couple times and see what you can get.
Or, he may come back to the drag pass. He's only run that play 2 times so far, and it's worked both times. Monroe Central with 12 players on the field again. That burned them last week.
Well, it's obviously a lack of communication. They called for it once last week, and I believe there was at least one other occasion prior to that they had 12 on the field and did not get called for it. And again, when you do some subbing in there, sometimes people are not sure who's supposed to be out there. And heads up play by someone there on the Seminole defense to call timeout and not get penalized.
Exactly. You penalize 15 yards here, the ball's going to go clear down to the 38-yard line, and it'll be first down. Caldwell's kicker showing he has a pretty good leg. You don't want him to pick up 3 more points here.
Well, I think you're seeing a lot of things happening this first 3.5 weeks of the season that we're not accustomed to seeing, and that's communication with substitutes. And again, I think that comes with having a lot of first-year players out there. And that's not really meant to be an excuse, but it's a fact. And unfortunately, it has hurt us at times. Schaefer, and he nearly breaks out of there. He's going to be at the 45-yard line. He's going to have about 8 yards, and we'll get a stoppage of play, and this could be a Caldwell timeout.
You're exactly right. They're going to take timeout. Second down, the ball's at the 45, so yeah, they're in range of putting the ball up. They've got a chance for 3 or 4 more plays here before the half runs out.
See Adam Jones limping to the sideline. We just talked about Adam, appeared to be healthy tonight there and really was running hard from an offensive standpoint. And he's coming to the sideline now on this second down and a long 2 situation. 35 seconds remaining. Caldwell will have 1 timeout remaining. Redskins back to the line of scrimmage from the Monroe Central 45-yard line. Clark wants to throw. Quick out here. And again, running room. Fumble the football. And I can't tell who has it.
They're going to give the ball to Monroe Central, but you clearly see that Caldwell's coming up with the ball that time. Number 82 for Caldwell wrestled the ball away right there at the end, but Monroe Central had control of the ball on the ground, and it should be a dead ball at that point. So, break for the Seminoles here. Look for them to keep the ball on the ground and regroup and try to get things straightened out here at halftime.
Not much time left, 23 seconds left. I believe Randall Seifert had that fumble recovery from Monroe Central. Monroe Central to 39. Joris wants to go up top. Across the middle for Stevens, incomplete.
Another nice ball that time by Michael Joris. He's putting the ball on the rope. Couldn't ask for a better spot, just a little bit out of reach there for TJ.
But thus far in the first half, a very uncharacteristic Monroe Central 13 pass attempts in the first half. And 13 passes and 16 rushes. And definitely not Seminole football. 18 seconds remaining. Joris again looks to throw. Going downfield. Incomplete. And the ball was intercepted by Barnhart, but he was out of bounds, so it is an incomplete pass. 3rd and 10, 13 seconds remaining. And if this half ever comes to an end, we will have the crowning of a homecoming queen from Monroe Central. King ceremonies held Thursday night. Danny Massey was crowned as homecoming king 2000 for the Monroe Central Seminoles. And we will have the entire halftime ceremonies and the crowning of the queen in just a few seconds. Stevens gets some yardage, still on his feet to the 40, 35-yard line.
Going to give the Seminoles at least a chance to throw the ball up to the end zone here to end the half.
But TJ started to go out of bounds about the 50-yard line, didn't realize how much room he had, and he's able to get down to the 35-yard line.
About 26 yards almost. Seminoles going to take a timeout and talk about this play here because 35-yard line. They have a shot to go towards the end zone anyway.
I do these stats, and then I get in. I can't read my own writing, so I'm not sure what the yardage is even supposed to be there. But that's a nice 26-yard pickup by Stevens. Because even if he goes out of bounds at about the 50-yard line, you're basically still only going to have time for one play. So he was able to get another 10 to 15 yards, playing the ball at the 35. And as you said, Lance, a chance to throw it up in the end zone, and maybe a defensive penalty. There's a variety of things that can happen. So you take one more shot at it. That was Monroe Central's final timeout, but with only 4 seconds remaining. They will not need any more timeouts, and they'll spread the field as one could expect. The ball right on the line. A little trouble getting lined up. Ball is ready for play. Finally getting some people in the right spots. Stevens, the center, is an eligible receiver. George throws downfield. It's complete to the 5-yard line, but the half is going to expire. Monroe Central with no timeouts left. So a 30-yard completion, but that will be halftime. Monroe Central trailing Caldwell 13-2. We'll be back with the crowning of a homecoming queen.
Woodsfield Marathon sells pure gasoline, diesel fuel kits.
As you just saw at halftime, Sheena Hill crowned as homecoming queen, and on Thursday night, Danny Massey was homecoming king. And let's hope the second half is a little bit happier than what the first half was. Monroe Central will have to kick off, so Caldwell gets first crack. Redskins of Caldwell leading 13-2. And the ball is going to hit, and he's down as he takes the ball in the knee. And that's a good start, as Caldwell will not have very good field possession.
That's a big break. 16-yard line. Great situation that time for the Seminoles. So good start to the second half. Monroe Central's going to need to prevent the big play from happening here, Jeff, and establish a little bit of offense and get this thing turned around.
I was looking at some stats I had at halftime, and Caldwell in the first 3 games of the season, a total of 65 yards passing. The first half tonight, 157, mostly on 2 big completions. And we expect Caldwell to stay on the ground quite a bit. I believe that is Hill. And it is number 36, Nathan Hill. He's to the 20-yard line. Pick up a 4.
Decent job by the Seminoles defense that first half against the run. 55 yards on 18 carries is not too bad of a job against an explosive rushing attack that Caldwell has.
And out near the 25-yard line is Nathan Hill once again. He's to 24, another 4 yards, bring up 3rd and 2. And Hill has provided a very good complementary running back to Schaefer. As a matter of fact, Hill has more carries and more yards than Brian Schaefer does thus far in this game. 3rd and 2, big play early for the Seminoles.
Break that time that Monroe Central didn't jump.
And
Caldwell
runner
did get enough for the first down now.
And I believe hit in the backfield.
Saw a little bit of movement there on the defensive line for Monroe Central. Fortunate that they didn't get into the neutral zone.
And I'm not sure who the ball carrier was, whether it was Hill or Schaefer. I believe it was Hill. But a first down. And, Caldwell, I had for only 3 first downs in the first half, but when you go 70 yards.
Doesn't have anybody on the receiver here at the bottom of the screen.
And Conrad now sees that, but that leaves you without a safety. And fortunately, Caldwell did not pick that up. And I think that's Hill once again.
Seminoles going with a few extra linemen here. 1 less defensive back. You see Gabe Gordon over here on the sideline. He's okay. Put a little different alignment in that time, and they didn't adjust to the wide receiver being out here.
And it seems to me, Lance, like, in this game tonight more mental mistakes and missed assignments than what I've noticed, especially the last couple of weeks. Here comes Schaefer, and he'll not be able to get through. He'll be very near a first down. Schauber will make the tackle.
It's going to be about a yard short. Monroe Central lining up 9 players in the box here to try to stop the run. Caldwell just nothing fancy, just coming straight at him.
Third down and 2. Caldwell's controlled the ball for 3 minutes at the beginning of this third period. And they'll get a first down from Schaefer as he's running very hard. He's going to drive forward. He has a good 5, nearly 6 yards. As he's going to be spotted up near the 43-yard line. And this is what Caldwell wants to play. You know, last week against Barnesville, they had over 300 yards running the ball. Barnesville had an extremely difficult time stopping them, but they're just not able to get the ball in the end zone. And there's a little motion, and Gatus, and he'll be hit and dropped by Gordon. Monroe Central coaching staff wanting a call, and a late flag comes in. I think they're going to get a holding call.
Tell you what, you won't see a better open field tackle than you saw right there with Gabe Gordon right here in front of us.
That will be a clipping call, and that's going to move Caldwell back 15 yards. And the choices here would be, you know, do you want it to be second and about 12, or do you want it to be first and near 25? And I think, you know, it's hard to turn down that 15-yard step-off. As they're going to take it back, and that will be just the second Caldwell penalty. The other one being the offensive pass interference on the try for point, which didn't cost them any yardage, but it cost them 2 points.
Penalty actually happened a yard behind the line of scrimmage, so it's going to give them about 26 yards to go. Ball's right on the 26, and they need to get to the 48.
Clark wants to throw. Rolling out. Aaron Cease will run him down, and a loss of a couple or 3 yards.
Not a lot of guys are going to outrun Aaron trying to get around the corner.
A loss of about 2 yards.
It's one of those situations where speed will make up for a little bit of a mistake. Aaron got caught down inside. Fortunate for him, he was able to run Clark down. Clark just a sophomore. You know, Caldwell has protected him this evening as far as, you know, he's in his first varsity start. They haven't put him back there deep in the pocket to throw the ball yet tonight.
Caldwell needs about 27 yards. They'll give it to the up back. And that is Schaefer. And he'll be out to the 37-yard line. He'll get about 13 yards on that play, but it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, and even in what you think is obvious passing situations there, Redskins keep the ball on the ground and picked up a pretty nice gain.
3rd and about 15. And they'll keep it very simple, go on the ground up the middle. Ball at the 39-yard line, just shy of the 40, a couple yards there. We think it may have been Schaefer.
That was Schaefer that time. You know, these jerseys got a little bit of dirt on them. They're a little bit wet, and they're almost impossible to read the numbers on the back.
The only time Caldwell has been in punt formation tonight, the ball went sailing over the punter's head and resulted in a Monroe Central safety. This snap is very high, but they're able to get it down. But it's a very short kick. I'm not sure if Adam Jones may have gotten a piece of that or not, but it's going to roll to the 49-yard line. Only about a 12-yard punt. And where Monroe Central is going to take over, it's still short of the yardage that Caldwell needed for a first down.
Exactly. That's exactly what Monroe Central needed to do to start second half. Come out here, get a defensive stop. They need to put together a drive now. Look for them to not get out of their game plan. Coach is probably going to keep the ball on the ground. We had moved the ball at times on the ground, so don't expect a whole lot of. They need to put together a drive now. Look for them to not get out of their game plan. Coach is probably going to keep the ball on the ground. We had moved the ball at times on the ground, so don't expect a whole lot of panic right yet.
And you may keep those high snaps in mind as the game goes on, and look for, some pressure and maybe going for a punt block. Joris will hand to Adam Jones. First down, deep into Caldwell territory, the 36-yard line. 15-yard pickup on first down for Adam Jones.
That's 15 yards, Jeff, on probably one of the most basic plays you'll see in football, and that's just a straight dive, head-up blocking, our power against your power, and we're going to send it back through just as fast as he can get there. Nice play.
But because of Caldwell's ability to run the ball and control the ball for a long period of time, Monroe Central needs to take advantage of things and get on the board here. Conrad on a quick out. He'll be inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Pickup of about 8 yards.
I mentioned earlier, Jeff, about that quick out, the 5-step out. Caldwell's looking for that play. That's something that they like to run themselves. Monroe Central doing a nice job there. Instead of sending him out, they throw the ball straight out here, get it to Conrad quick, let him run a little bit in the open field, and he can be exciting.
Well, if you can break that initial tackle, then you get a chance to get out in the open field, you can be very elusive. And Monroe Central getting a nice drive together right at the end of the first half. They were able to get to the 5-yard line. This is Aaron Cease. He's going to get to the 25-yard line, and I believe he has the first down.
Still waiting to see Aaron really break loose and get out into the open one time. He's been plagued by the cramp probably more so than anyone. Like to see him get the ball through that initial line of scrimmage and use some of that speed.
That is Aaron's first carry of the game, and it is good for about 4 yards and a first down. The cooler weather has to help these people as far as the cramp, so we hope that will not be a problem tonight. Joris on first down wants to throw. Gets some pressure and be hit as he throws. Number 71 is Ivan Ramage. Looked like Conrad was open for a moment out on the right side, but Joris really did not have time to be able to pick out the receiver that he wanted and throw the ball.
Looked like he wanted to go to Eric Brown deep in the corner. Eric was running a flag pattern. Coaches noticed that they're coming up quick on Conrad on that out, so sending a guy in behind to try to get behind that corner that's coming up.
But the incompletion makes second down and long 10. They're going to go to the end zone for Conrad. A lot of people there, and the ball will fall incomplete. Barnhart and
Sidwell,
I believe.
Sidwell's the free safety. Looks like he might be shaken up a little bit. Could have fallen on the ball, but I'll tell you, he did a nice job back there playing center field from the free safety spot. Exactly what he's supposed to do.
And that is, as you can see, number 88, Dan Sidwell. Now, we're kind of chilly up here on the sidelines, and you had a shot right there of Caldwell head coach Corey Perkins, still with the short sleeves and the short pants on, and with a 13-0 lead, or 13-2 lead, he's probably not experiencing this cold weather quite the same as we are up on top of this press box.
No, he's quite possibly wiping his brow every once in a while. I tell you, I don't know how cold it is, but I'm pretty chilled.
Well, we knew after all the warm weather the first 3 weeks that this was going to get us sooner or later. We just was hoping it was later than sooner.
I'm just going to have to quit crying about it. This is a football weekend for me. I'm coach of St. Sylvester's new junior high team. We open up our season tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock at Wheeling. Then we're going to make the trip to Kent State and watch the Youngstown State Penguins play ball there at 6.
I also have that Kent State trip on my plans for tomorrow, so maybe we'll run into you up there tomorrow night. We're going to get a flag. A lot of movement on both sides, but the 5-yard step-off will go against Monroe Central for illegal procedure. And that will make it 3rd and 15 now as the ball will go back to the 30-yard line. There's a Caldwell player moved a little bit also, but if he doesn't get into the neutral zone, then he's completely legal.
I have to question that call because the official on this side threw the flag, and it was real clear from here that the Caldwell player did jump first. We didn't have a good angle to see whether he got into the neutral zone, but the referee quick to make the call.
Joris, the throw once again. We're going to get another flag, and that's incomplete. Kilburn, the intended receiver. He took a very hard hit as the ball was there, and that's Schaefer.
We have a
the
flag
defender.
here in the backfield, and we've got a flag down about the 24-yard line as well.
And we'll see if both flags are for the same thing. I think they are. And Caldwell will probably decline that penalty to set up 4th and 15. Well, we have a small break in the action here. I want to mention also the Monroe Central volleyball team, which after an opening season loss has now won 7 in a row to be at 7-1. And if you have a chance here in the next couple of weeks, you know, to get out to Skyview Elementary Gym and see that team play, it'll be worth the time.
These girls have been playing together for several years now, and they've got some athletes on that team. Girls doing a great job. Read some of the statistics last week. Got some girls that put a hurting on that ball.
And Troy Baker is the head coach of the Seminole volleyball team.
You know,
4th and
throw
long.
around, it's going to be exciting.
And it's intercepted. And running room on the far side. The midfield, 40. And out of bounds on the far side.
I think that was Gatos again, but I'm not sure.
It is. Making the interception. The second one of the night. And not only has Caldwell stopped the Monroe Central drive, Gatos with a fine return is going to give the Redskins excellent field position down near the Monroe Central 30-yard line. 4 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And this one has been all Caldwell.
Seminole's going to have to strap it up here and play some defense. Nice job that time by number 74, Zach Frownapple. Yeah, Gatos a lot more speed than Frownapple, but he took off right at the start when he saw it and saved a touchdown. Hopefully the Seminoles defense will stiffen up here and get us the ball back.
They'll give to Schaefer on a little pitch. He's got some running room, and he's going to have 9 yards.
Going to pick up almost 9 yards on the play. Put him in a real nice position just down at the 21.
So Caldwell's score here would put them definitely in the driver's seat. They already lead 13-2 as we near only 4 minutes remaining in the third period. This will be Hill. He will get the yard he needs for the first down, plus a few more to spare. He's going to be down at about the 17-yard line. Now, Caldwell's only about 120 yards rushing, but it's been very effective as they now are controlling the ball. They're going to give it to Schaefer, and again, just powering forward. I believe that was Hill. And he's down inside the 15, near the 13-yard line.
Saw there how he kept his legs chopping. That's what you want your fullback to do. He's not going to break a lot of long runs with his speed. Just power football, keep the legs chopping. Monroe Central's going to need to. You got to hit the guy hard and low and keep your legs chopping and drive him back.
As we said earlier, Caldwell was a very veteran and experienced line, and we get movement in there, and another mistake by Monroe Central is going to cost the Seminoles 5 more yards. As I said, just veteran line, and I talked to Mike Palaziak at halftime, and Mike, formerly a basketball coach and a teacher down at Caldwell, knows a lot of these kids. And as he said, a lot of these kids out there for Caldwell, with about 13 seniors, were regulars as freshmen and sophomores, and these kids have paid their dues. And when they get healthy, they're going to be even better. They've come in here and have played extremely well tonight, limited the mistakes, and they've controlled the game. This is Schaefer, and he's in the end zone. 8-yard touchdown run by Brian Schaefer, and Caldwell now leads 19-2.
Simple off-tackle play. Schaefer runs pretty low to the ground for a nice tall kid like he is. bounced off the left side, got his way outside, and powered his way into the end zone.
So with a 17-point lead, Sidwell back on the field after being injured earlier will now try the point to try to increase that Caldwell lead to 18 points. There's just 2:43 remaining in the third quarter. But the big interception, and both interceptions and turnovers by Monroe Central has been converted into points by Caldwell. Sidwell's kick is through and has plenty of space, and 2:43 remaining in the third quarter. Caldwell 20, Monroe Central 2. And that run, Lance, by Schaefer now gets him up to 70 yards. So, you know, what looked like we were holding him in check pretty well early, he's, you know, going to end up with a very nice game. And that touchdown, you know, may be the key. And Monroe Central, who hasn't been to the end zone yet, needs to get there 3 times in order to pull this game out. And that's going to be a tough order.
That's it. We said early in the game, Caldwell, a 1-2 record, you know, I don't think Coach let these guys take them very lightly, but Caldwell's shown they've done an impressive job tonight of moving the ball. They've not done too much fancy. There's 2 passes. Like I said, those were backbreakers, but those weren't anything fancy, just a little, slip a guy out into the flat, was able to get the ball, turn the corner, and go the distance.
And you could tell very early during the warm-ups when Caldwell took the field, prior to the game, they were very fired up. And, staying near a couple of Caldwell people at the time, so that's the most fired up they've seen them for a game, they said, in quite some time. And as we pointed out early, Monroe Central with a couple of mental mistakes in the opening stages of the game, people not getting lined up correctly and some other problems, and you just, didn't like the way things were developing back in the middle of the first quarter, and Caldwell has taken charge of the entire ball game. But let's see if we can get a good return here and try to make a game of it. Schaefer's kick is line drive to Cease at the 15. 25, 30, slips down at the 32-yard line as he tried to change his direction and get to the outside. But again, the turf's a little soft in places, and we've seen a couple of slips tonight, and that's when it's going to down Aaron Cease at the 32-yard line.
Aaron made a nice catch on that ball. That ball was sailing on him, reached up above his head and caught it, which is a hard thing to do on a kickoff.
Now Monroe Central, who has already put the ball in the air 20 times tonight, is probably going to have to do quite a bit more of that as the rest of the game here.
Yeah, Monroe Central uncharacteristically has tried to go long on a lot of those throws.
Adam Jones trying to get to the outside. Schaefer and Gados have him, and after a short gain, Adam Jones will be down at the 35-yard line.
Haven't seen Preston Kilburn's number called yet as far as throwing the ball. That might be what we're going to see here coming up probably, is coach try to split them out, not try to go deep on it, get to 10, 8, 10, 12, 15-yard pickups here, and hopefully one of them will turn into a big gainer.
And the 7 completions from Monroe Central, only one has went for more than 10 yards, and that was the 30-yarder on the last play of the first half. Conrad on the short one, and again, he will slip down and lose some yardage. It's a completion, but it's going to go for a loss of a couple of yards.
You see what coach is wanting to do there is get the ball out here to Adam in the open field. He had a little bit of room. There were 2 defenders. Needs to make the move and get around him, and just lost his footing.
Just enough rain in the early going late this afternoon and again early this evening to make the field just a little bit slick. We've seen people on both teams slip. George wants to throw, has some pressure, going across the middle, in and out of the hands of Kilburn. And as you called, Lance, the tight end, but just not able to make the play. It was a tough catch.
Tough catch. He had fallen down, but I'll tell you what, Michael George put the ball right there where it needed to be. Another incompletion, and Monroe Central going to have to give the ball back again. They're going to need to Yeah, you know what Caldwell's going to do when they get back here. They're going to put the ball right on the ground and keep grinding things out. That young quarterback, they don't want to make him do anything more than he has to.
Gordon, the punt for the 5th time tonight. It's a short kick and fumbled, but recovered by Caldwell at the 41-yard line. A short kick about 26 yards, no return, but Caldwell, pretty good field position. And as you said, Lance, I think we're going to get a pretty good dose of Hill and Schaefer, followed by Hill and Schaefer.
Exactly right.
I would be greatly surprised to see a pass.
Yeah, we saw earlier they were set up with a first down and 26 yards to go and ran 3 straight running plays. So it's not likely they're going to put it up regardless of the situation here.
But they'll give to Hill. And he'll get yardage to the 45-yard line. That's a good, solid 4 yards on first down for Nathan Hill.
And it doesn't look like, when you watch the play from up here, looks like he might have got back to the line of scrimmage or picked up a yard. The Caldwell offensive front obviously is moving that line back because they get to the back of the lineman and get tackled, and it's a 4-yard gain.
They'll give it to Hill. He'll be dropped in the backfield by Seifert. Had first contact, a loss of a yard. And that, by my count, is only the 3rd play from scrimmage tonight, not counting the bad punt snap that Caldwell has run and has went for negative yardage.
Yeah, just as I say that the Caldwell offensive front pushing Monroe Central's line back, you have Randall Seifert that time just powered his way right through the blocker and made the big hit in the backfield.
That is the end of the 3rd period. And Caldwell 20, Monroe Central 2. In control of the ball as they've been for the majority of the night. 3rd down, they'll pitch to Schaefer. He'll be tripped by Cease in the backfield and lose a couple of yards. So Monroe Central, defense again doing a nice job. So it's going to bring up 4th and 10.
Monroe Central going to send Conrad back by himself, and they're going to bring 11 guys this time and go for that punt. You've seen Caldwell had two high snaps in the first half, one resulting in a Monroe Central points.
Now they'll have to break out and guard the wide outs, but it looks like the block is on. 2 bad snaps by Caldwell thus far. They're going to let some time run, and this is a much better snap, and it's off the side of his foot. I don't believe that the ball
did signal it was touched.
Okay, it was tipped. So that's, meant that there was no roughing the kicker to be called, so somebody got a piece of it there. And that will go out of bounds at the 43-yard line, a net punt of about 2 yards. So the only thing that really has been bad on the Caldwell side of the field tonight has been their punting game. They've punted 2 times for an average of 7 yards, and then had a snap go over their head into the end zone, which cost them a safety.
We've looked at their scores. They've scored a lot of points this year, obviously something that they haven't had to work on a whole lot.
And obviously, as you say, they've not had to punt. Here's a reverse, Conrad, and he's going to lose big yardage. Rainier, and I can't tell the number of the second man, but that was bad news. But Caldwell has done a nice job. Number 56, Tom Brown, was the second man there. Number 52, Rainier, was the first man there, and that play is going to result in a loss of some 7 yards.
Second down and 17.
When you're down this many points, you have to go into the bag of tricks and try to pull something out. Joyce wants to throw. Downfield, intercepted. And this is going to be another big return. Barnhart, I believe. Adam Barnhart with his second interception of the night.
Caldwell just sitting back there waiting now. They know Monroe Central's in a position where they've got to throw the ball. Coach DeCosta normally doesn't like to throw that ball down the middle, and I think a lot of the PVC coaches know that. Thought maybe, tried a little bit tonight, but it's come to bite us just about every time we've tried it.
Caldwell surrendered only 57 yards passing per game, and I thought it might be because they were giving up so many yards rushing. But, they've done a nice job back there in the secondary. That is the third interception. Schaefer trying to get outside, driven out of bounds by a lot of Seminoles. I see Kilburn and Conrad, Wilson. Very little gain on the play. The 30-yard line, about 2 yards. But meanwhile, the clock becomes our worst enemy. 9:45 remaining, and Caldwell is just going to keep running it and take some time off the clock. They really don't care if they score or not. Hill is hit hard at the line of scrimmage. I see Shoemaker and Seifert. He's going to fall forward for a couple more yards. As you said, Lance, plays that look like are going for no gain end up gaining a couple yards.
You go back to the Magnolia ball game, Jeff. Monroe Central turned the ball over, I believe, 6 times that first ball game. Got beat 21-0. A lot of similarities. So we've turned the ball over here. The last couple times have been because we're trying to throw it and get back in the game, but turnovers will beat you every time.
And very surprising, there's a pass, and it's going to be caught by Gaydos, who changed his route. Seifert, I believe, put a tremendous hit on the quarterback, Clark, but it's going to be a completion and a first down.
It's always a big advantage to the wide receiver when the ball is thrown short, if it's short enough, because normally the defender's got his back turned. He's trying to get in your face. You get a better read on the ball when it's short, and that's exactly what happened that time. The receiver was able to come back. Wasn't that greatly thrown of a pass. Big break for the Redskins.
Sophomore quarterback for Caldwell, Rob Clark, now 5 of 5 for about 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now they'll go back to the ground. Schaefer inside the 10, near the 8. He has another 8 yards. Call at the 9-yard line. Second down and about 3. Clock running, near 8 minutes remaining in the game. Movement, and this is probably going to cost Monroe Central half the distance to the goal. And they'll move it down inside the 5, and that is encouragement. And they signaled Caldwell. I get a feeling he pointed the wrong way.
Yeah, because they are all going the other direction, and they're going to spot that ball inside the 5 now, first and goal.
If anybody's watching this Saturday morning and was trying to listen to the game on the Caldwell radio station, I know they were having some problems with their cell phone line, and maybe this is the first look at some of the people who had of this game. And there's your first incompletion by Clark.
Trying to hit the quick slant over there. Gabe Gordon defending for the Seminoles.
And somebody puts a pretty good pressure on. I think Clark was hit as he tried to throw. But this is definitely the first time all year that I really feel our defense has been taken advantage of. We've given up some big yardage. Caldwell was well over 200 yards in offense during the first half. And they've continued to move it in the second half, even though they've had very good field position. Schaefer.
Schaefer showed right there. He's a pretty strong running back. He got hit right at the 4-yard line that time. Kept his feet moving, and he took it down inside the 2, it looks like.
With these two running backs in Caldwell, you're not getting yardage by accident. They've both done a nice job of keeping the legs churning And together they're over 130 yards rushing, just the two of them. This is a touchdown. Hill, I believe. No, it'll be Schaefer. He'll get the final 2 yards for a touchdown. And Caldwell's put this game away. 7 minutes remaining in the game. It's now 26-2, Caldwell.
7 minutes left in the ball game. 26-2.
Maybe a difficult job next week, Lance, to pick out a Citizens National Bank play of the game because there's not been a lot to talk about offensively for the Seminoles.
You're right. It's we've had games where we've had several, and it's been tough to pick from. And tonight, the offense just hasn't been able to get the job done. Defensively, Caldwell's keeping us from getting the job done there.
Sidwell is now 3 for 3 kicking, and Caldwell leads 27-2 with 7 minutes remaining in the game. A situation we've not been in too many times, and even though we knew this would be a tough ball game, and I'm not sure if some people thought after one win that that had cured all ills or what, but Caldwell coming in with a very good football team, and they've just taken it right to the Seminoles, and it's not been much of a contest.
And things don't get any easier for the Seminoles. Next week we're going to have to travel down to Fort Fry. Fort Fry has been piling up big points on everyone, so Seminoles are going to have to regroup next week.
Well, let's face it, when you look at the next 4 opponents are probably better than the 4 we've played, and that's not good as far as the future wins. Monroe Central will now go to Fort Fry, as you said. They're undoubtedly will be 4-0. And see, just an example of things, people lined up in the wrong way now for the kickoff, and just, mentally, there's nobody's there tonight.
Well, that's it. And, we've seen that several times. Lapses of concentration.
As I started to say, then, Fort Fry next week, they'll be 4-0. Lindsley will come in here in 2 weeks, and they're an excellent club. And then a trip to an unbeaten Shenandoah. They're 3-0 at this time. And then Barnesville. And then followed by Frontier and Bellsville. So, this team has a lot of growing up to do, and one game does not a season make.
Well, we come in with a young ball team, an inexperienced ball team, and then you get a schedule like that thrown at you. Things are tough.
Conrad slipping, keeps his feet at the 10, and be hit hard. I see Barnhart there again at the 25-yard line. Next week, I will be working that game on WBNV radio. So if you don't make that long trip down to Fort Fry, please tune us in. But we hope that all good Seminole fans will make that trip. We need to have a contest maybe and find out, name the announcers for Saturday morning.
Well, I think it's going to be those 2 guys that did it last week. I can't remember who they were. They're the guys that did a nice job, but I can't think of who they were.
Because in 4 weeks, we've had 4 different announcing combinations. Pitch to Brown. He'll get a couple of yards. And at 27-2, I guess we have to find something to talk about.
That's it. Going to see some new faces come into the ball game here for the Seminoles. Big number 76 for the Noles. I believe that's Robbie Lumbatis.
And also Nate Schauber will get a chance to play a little bit here on the offensive side of the ball. Brown will get out to the 27-yard line, give him about 3 yards. But this is where you get, run a couple new guys in there, let them play a little bit and see, if you've got some people that need to be playing. But, you work on something. The Magnolia game where we were not able to get into the end zone late in the game, I felt, would have helped things quite a bit. Here's Christopher Wilson with his first carry. He's going to have a first down. He's going to be out across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. A 15-yard pickup by Chris Wilson. We see Aaron Cease replacing T.J. Stevens as they trade off quite a bit, as that is how Coach DeCosta runs the plays out and in. Wilson gets another carry, and this one will be a little tougher, even though he does fight for himself forward and gain a couple yards. I think the big 300-pounder, number 76, Alex Demmerling, had him wrapped up. And not a big crowd here from Caldwell, but they're starting to enjoy themselves.
Well, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. Monroe Central's had Caldwell's number. Thing about it, though, Caldwell's been one of the teams over the J. Costa era that's always played us tough. You know, we went 9-1 one year, and the only loss came to Caldwell in a 7-0 game here. John Knowlton, Mike Linehauser, Steve Shoemaker were juniors.
Joris wants to throw. He's going for Conrad, overthrown. Again, some good pressure. Joris taking a hit as he delivered the ball. But, to follow up on what you said, Lance, I grew up listening to Bob Prince and the Pittsburgh Pirates. People either loved or hated. And Bob Prince used to call it hidden vigorous. The longer you beat somebody, the closer you come to losing to them. And that's going to happen.
Right. Yep, and really, Monroe Central has brought this on themselves. Every team we play is going to be fired up because they don't often get a chance to beat Monroe Central. Monroe Central, we've always known that here. Everybody's gunning for us. Every week you have to get up because the team you're playing is going to be up for you, and they want us.
We've seen that twice thus far this year. A bad snap, Joris will go back and fall on the loose ball. A bad snap in the shotgun, and maybe the first time we have really seen that. Maybe one other time, but and that's going to result in a loss from the 44-yard line back to the 32-yard line. Shady Side has been a long time since they had beaten us. Caldwell the same way. And you're going to see another example of that next week in Fort Fry. They're going to be 4-0, and they feel they have a legitimate shot at postseason. And they run up some big numbers the first few weeks. And I'm assuming that they will knock off Waterford on this Friday night. Gordon will kick it away. Fair catch at the 38-yard line. And about a 30-yard punt, which seems to be just about the average of most kicks by Gabe Gordon. And in high school ball, if you can get a net of 30 yards, that's, as an average, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, Gabe's done a real nice job all year. Just a freshman. Gabe's been right in there all year, come up several big hits. We mentioned his name earlier in the game there. He had probably one of the most technically correct open field tackles you're going to see. I'm looking forward to watching Gabe the next 3.5 years. He's going to be an exciting ball player.
Yeah, the play you talked about last week was an open field tackle which stopped the River Drive on 4th down. And he's done a nice job again here. A big gain and another first down for Caldwell as they are just started to assert themselves on both sides of the ball. That is Schaefer. He's going to get about 12 yards. And if my count is correct, that's getting Brian Schaefer up over 90 yards of rushing. And he's now going to come out and get quite a round of applause, and deservingly so, from the Caldwell fans.